So welcome back to Pop Up Uke, and it's a special day here, an international call across the pond to my dear friend Ralph Shaw. Hello, Ralph. Great to see you.
Hello, Jim. It's nice to be seen. How are you doing?
Real good. And Ralph and I go back probably getting close to 20 years on the ukulele circuit. First met at the Vancouver Ukulele Festival, I believe. Ralph
I think
available.
it was Portland, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe yeah, 2009, maybe in Portland. Yeah, maybe. And then
Or
Vancouver. Yeah, I think I knew you. And yeah, you're right.
I, I remember the first day I went because you gave me a tour of Portland. That's how I remember you. And you took me around. We went to a music shop and I took a ukulele off the wall
Oh yeah, that's
and I
coming
made you
back to
laugh.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Ralph has been on the circuit for a long time and now living in England, and has a new book out. And Ralph, well, what's the name of this book?
It's called Wings Are Handy Things and Other Flights of Fancy from the Ukulele Entertainer.
And for those that aren't familiar with Ralph's work, not only a consummate professional musician and performer, and I highlight the word performer, uh, and also a great writer. And tell us about the newsletter that you've been producing, what, for years now, that comes out.
Yeah, I started that in 2009 and I've always had I like writing, and I'm always having these ideas for the connections I make in my mind, and I think, oh, I'd love to write that down. So I started a quite a small email list in 2009, and put out these newsletters. And I would get people signed up when I went to ukulele festivals, and it built up over time into hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So that they're my audience for my email newsletters. Um, and after a while, I realized I had enough for a collection for a book. So that was my first book and my second book, and this is actually the third one. They don't have to be read in any particular order because they're collections of short pieces, like essays, the kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that's most fascinating about your newsletter and your books is how you weave uh, experiences in the ukulele world into real life. It really does dovetail together, and you're such a good writer that they're really interesting reads. So let's talk about this book for a second. I'm going to just share the screen and bring up what it looks like on Amazon where it's available. So there it is, friends. Wings are handy things and other flights of fancy from the Ukulele Entertainer. And it just came up on the 11th, so about a week ago, and 12.92 in paperback. So this is a print on demand, right? You can get it print on demand and electronically, Ralph?
That's right. That's Amazon Publishing. It's not yet on Kindle. It will be as soon as I get that done. There's a whole process to get that happening. Uh,
Well, as we're looking at the uh, sort of chapter heads here, tell us just a little bit about a few of these. Like, you have created a wonderful onstage persona. You're just an electric performer, and you just grab the audiences and bring them into your world. Just tell us a little bit about like creating an onstage persona. Can you do that?
uh, I can't remember what I've written in the book. It was so long ago that I did that.
Oh, well,
Um,
yeah, I won't get specific with you then, but
but if you want, I could make stuff up off the top of my head if you wanted. I'm desperately flicking through it now to see if I can find what I wrote.
uh,
But there are specific things that uh that all I don't
Yeah,
know
I
what.
wouldn't worry about that because you can see it right here. Staying focused in performance, how to play with feeling, reasons to teach, writing parody, and on and on and on. Tons of subjects in this book. And I wanted to ask you also, do you have a lot of, uh, what's the word I'm looking for? Anecdotal things that have happened in your playing career on stage or things like that?
There are things like that, that come up not just from playing, performing, but also from real life. Uh, I find it's nice to make use of those awful moments, those nightmarish moments where things go wrong on stage or just before, and you can make use of those in a way that benefits other people. Yeah, so. I think we all have those as performers.
Yeah, I have found that because I didn't come to this as a natural musician, and so I've made a lot of mistakes, but I've found that being able to think on your feet and getting out of the mistakes is more fun than being perfect. It's like because you're so amazed that you got out of it and you made people laugh during it.
Well, this connects right into my memory lapse there because if I read a book within the first next week or so, I can bore you to death. I remember everything about it, but it soon just disappears. I can't even remember what I've written. So that's where I'm at now. Um, and and for example, remembering lyrics on stage, right? It's remembering our songs. Uh, we that's it sort of feels like one of the worst things that can happen, that you'll be in the middle of a song and you can't remember it. Well, I've always done well with that. It hasn't been a problem, but as time goes on, there's more and more songs to remember. Age could be a factor as well. There's more stuff, and I started, like, every now and then I forget lyrics, and like you say, it's the getting out of it. Uh, whatever it is I do, because obviously it's not pre-planned. People come up to me afterwards. Oh, the best part of the show was where you forgot. You pretended you forgot the words.
Yeah,
I,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't
That's it.
pretending. That was real. Wow, that was real. That was the best part of the show.
Yeah, well, you pretended. That is so funny. In fact, things like that happen. I'm reading a book now about, I think it's Daniel Leviathan, who wrote "This Is Your Brain on Music." But the one I'm reading now is "There Was a Secret Chord." That's the name of it. But he was talking about a performance that Ella Fitzgerald did, like on a July 4th outdoor concert in Washington D.C. back in the '60s. And here's Ella Fitzgerald, the height of her career, and doing one of the most popular songs of the day, Mac the Knife. And
Yeah,
she's just wailing along and she forgets the lyrics.
yeah,
And but she doesn't miss a beat. She just starts not scatting, but actually making up new lyrics on the spot.
yeah.
And the author says it's one of the greatest performances of all time of getting out of something, but creating something wholly musical that came from inside, that wasn't thought of, but just came from the experience of knowing music and having it inside.
Yeah, so that's a legendary thing that happened, and but it's the type of thing that I'm always pondering on and coming at in different ways. It's the essence of performing, where you want to be so relaxed and in your zone that you can do something like that. Because if you're on stage and you're terrified, you're going to have that the big blackout feeling where you can't think of what to say. So how do you get to a point where um, you're so confident in your own abilities that when things do go wrong, you can just make stuff up on stage in front of people looking at you. So I go into things like stage fright comes into that as well, doesn't it? So um, and it's about being prepared and then being able to just put all your preparation to one side. It's the idea of making a set list and then not sticking to it. But I feel it's very important to make that set list in the first place, so at least you have a plan, and then break away from the plan.
Oh
Uh,
yeah. No,
yeah,
I agree with you 100%. Like I said, coming to this as a non-musician, and then having to perform eventually with people like you on the same bill, or James Hill, and me getting up there going, oh no, I have to, compete with these guys. But and I would get really nervous and have stage fright. But what I eventually came to was, hey, I'm going to be me, and I know what I bring, and I bring an era of confidence and humor. And once I found myself, then I can walk out on the stage and it's fine. I'm not worried about making mistakes because I know I'm quick-witted enough to get out of it and make it look like, oh, yeah. In fact, I just got to mention a couple of things that came to mind about you, Ralph, and over the years performing. I mean, there's just a couple of classics that your song about building a ukulele case out of cardboard. You know, I mean, it's like legendary. Is that on YouTube at all? That video or?
It is. I think it could even be the very first time I performed it because I did it at the Wine Country Ukulele Festival. So I'm not sure. It is on YouTube. How to build a ukulele case. It should be on there
Yeah,
somewhere.
during today's pop-up uke, I'll go search that and play that performance, and also your legendary "Viva Las Vegas." I mean, if you're going to cover Elvis, I mean, and such an iconic tune, I mean, I would never even. But Ralph, I mean, you were like, you know, a god when it came to doing "Viva Las Vegas."
Well, that was so fantastic how that came together. Because yeah, I practiced and play. I could play it on the banjo ukulele. That was great. But just the combination of musicians that were there with Del Rey. There was Aaron Kime on bass, Piper Heisig just playing her laptop snare, and then of course Michelle Keeber doesn't even bother with the ukulele. She just gets up in a Hawaiian dress and does some Hawaiian Las Vegas dance moves. And it just came together fantastically. For quite a while after that, people thought that was my band. They thought that was and we'd only played it once. We had like a quick practice in the refectory that afternoon. So, oh yeah, that'll be good enough. And
Right.
then on stage and did it that night, and it was just fantastic. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the magic when stuff like that happens. Well, Ralph, we wish you all the best on your new book. What's the title again? Can you remember the title?
It's called Wings Are Handy Things, based on my chickens and other flights of fancy from the ukulele entertainer.
And so we'll see if we can sell out Amazon on-demand publishing with your new book. And let's not be strangers, Ralph. It's great catching up with you again, and all the best to you in the coming year.
Same to you, Jim. It's been a delight to talk to you again.
All right, ending recording.